Hi go-getters, welcome back to today's episode. We've been walking you through businesses that you could actually launch in Africa and make a lot of money with little competition, and some that you could actually be the first to start in Africa. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at something pretty different. One thing I want you to understand is that when considering business opportunities in Africa, it is crucial to take into consideration the cultural preferences, the economic conditions, and the local needs of the Africans. This is going to enable you to reduce risk, therefore maximizing profit. So in today's video, I am going to be walking you through 7 business ideas that I don't recommend you launch in Africa, because I believe we also need to know what not to do in Africa. So I am therefore going to be giving you the reasons why you shouldn't do those businesses. So if this is something that catches your interest, please do well to subscribe to the channel already so that you don't miss out on such videos, and feel free to share this video with your loved ones, for as I always say, the more we empower Africans, the greater Africa will be. So my name is Elvin Jik and you're watching Africa Today. So the first business I am going to be talking here about, which is something that is going to struggle in the African market, is a gourmet vegan restaurant. This is something I don't recommend you start in Africa, and I am going to be telling you why. How many Africans are vegan? The thing with people is that once they just hear about a business and they see it flourishing in other parts of the world, they just think they could come and establish such a business in Africa, because they constantly hear that Africa has got a lot of untapped business opportunities, which is not the case in every business. So that's why I would advise you to consider the cultural habits of any African country before setting any business there. Now, talking about the vegan restaurant, it is a very absurd business idea for Africa. In many African cultures, meals are centered around meat, fish, and animal products in general. So while there is a growing interest in plant-based diets, the truth still remains that Africans are not into the vegan lifestyle. Even if you are in the urban areas, a gourmet vegan restaurant is not a good idea, because such a restaurant might struggle to attract a good customer base and therefore not really profitable for you. The few customers you might have are maybe tourists who are vegans, or maybe a few Africans who've lived abroad and who became vegans or who are vegans. Yeah, let me just put it that way. So aside from the fact that you're going to have a low customer base, it will not work because of the dietary preferences of Africans and the cost factors. That's something I wouldn't recommend for African countries. The second business I wouldn't advise you start in Africa is the exotic pet breeding and sales. So by this, I mean things like reptiles, birds, lions, leopards, and all the like that you will commonly see in countries in the Middle East, like maybe in Dubai or Qatar. Here in Africa, it is a big no. You need to understand that most African countries have strict regulations on wildlife, and there's very little demand for exotic pets due to cultural beliefs and conservation efforts. If you are just caught living with a snake in Africa, you are going to be an outcast. You could literally be chased out of your quarter or town just because you are living with such an animal, because in Africa, such things are looked upon as very mysterious and spiritual. In other cultures, it is quite normal, right? In the Middle East, it is very common to see the wealthy own lions, leopards, snakes as pets. But here in Africa, most people prefer the traditional domesticated animals. So please, if this is something that had ever crossed your mind, please erase it. For if you just start such a business in Africa, you will be the first person labeled as a witch or belonging to a cult. The next business I wouldn't recommend you start in Africa is premium dog food and pet accessories. This is some business that will not really do well in Africa because the demand will be low. How many Africans do take dogs seriously? Like, you see, when you go to the Western world, you see people owning dogs and actually treating them like family members. Here in Africa, it is the contrary, all right? I remember the STO in Cameroon who once made a public announcement of his dog that had been stolen by some guys. Now, it was later found that those guys stole that dog not to resell or for whatever purpose, but none other than to eat. They just stole that dog. That is, can you imagine a dog of over $500 that they just stole, cooked, and ate with their friends. Imagine how furious he could be for losing such a dog that he had spent so much money to purchase and to feed, because feeding such a dog in Cameroon, you wouldn't spend less than $200, alright? So imagine investing so much money on your dog, and some guys just managed to get their way into your house and kidnap the dog just to satisfy their urge for dog meat. This is just for you to understand that why dog ownership and care is common in some parts of Africa. A majority of people view dogs just like some sort of additional nuisance or some good meat for them to enjoy. So very few people would look at dogs like a family member worth spending on luxury items for. Most Africans are struggling to cater for their basic needs, so spending on luxury items on a dog is just like some unnecessary expenses. So please, goal getter, if this is something that you've ever thought of even once, I strongly discourage such a business idea. But if you are someone who is so passionate about that and you've got some money to spare to just give it a trial, why not? So the next business idea I am going to be talking here about has to do mainly with electronics, that is kitchen equipment or appliance. I am therefore talking here of a dishwashing machine. Honestly, goal getters, this is something that just a very few people will purchase in Africa, all right? If you invest your money in such a business, that is, let's even consider that you've got an electronic shop or an appliance shop where you sell cookware, kitchenware, and everything, and you maybe sell washing machine, that is for dresses, right? Laundry. Don't you dare ever think of dishwashing machine, because honestly, you are going to be losing your money. And if you are wondering why, I am going to be telling you why. Africans find something like a dishwasher to be very, very unnecessary. This is simply because most Africans would rather wash their dishes with their hands simply because they feel it makes the dishes cleaner, and they just feel that it makes them save money. They don't really care about the time-saving aspect of the dishwashing machine, because most Africans who could afford a dishwashing machine actually have housemates to help out, and the housemates are the ones who generally do the dishes for them, so it is very, very unnecessary for them. Talking to you right now, I don't know of any African around my vicinity or here in Yaoundé that I have seen with a washing machine. I am not saying that they don't exist, all right? There are a few Africans who own a dishwashing machine, but they are very few. So imagine investing on dishwashing machines. You are obviously going to be losing your money, because those who are going to be buying are a few who've got the money to waste, because like I said, most people who've got money or who are well-to-do have mates who do the work for them. And next on, I am going to be talking about the trash cleaning business. Yes, this is some business that I notice is actually established in the Western world and is actually lucrative. But here in Africa, it will sound very, very ridiculous. So please, if you've ever seen this business over there and thought of maybe trying it in Africa, please don't. Save your coins, all right? Don't you dare. That's something that is very, very useless as a business in Africa. And I noticed that with such businesses, the cleaners will charge about $50 to clean a trash can. That sounds ridiculous, all right? Talking to you here, I just can't do that. And I don't see any African who can do that, all right? $50 here in Africa will literally get you a brand new trash can. So an African who can afford such money per month would rather buy new trash cans every month. And just like the dishwasher, an African won't dare spend such a money just for a trash can to be cleaned, because like I said, most Africans who've got a little bit of money have got mates, and the mates are the ones doing all of that. And mark you, in some parts of Africa, $50 could actually pay a house help. So someone would rather pay a house help the $50 for the house help to not only clean the trash can, but also do all the other house chores for that $50. So it is actually a very, very useless business to start in Africa. Next on, we are going to be talking about something very different, all right? This is some business that I don't recommend. generally it doesn't really do well globally, but worst in Africa, all right? I am talking here of an independent bookstore business. An independent bookstore business will be a total fiasco in Africa for the main reason that not only Africa is made of at least 70% of youths who don't love reading, and to crown it all with the coming of social media where we've got ebooks, audiobooks and everything online. The youths nowadays who are tech savvies don't give a damn when it comes to physical books, all right? So if you invest your money in such a business, you know what will happen, all right? So what I would advise you do if you are really passionate about book business is to maybe incorporate it with another business. That's why I made the precision of independent bookstore business. So you might as well establish your bookstore, but try to merge it to another business. Let me take for instance a documentation business. This is something that does very well in Africa because a lot of people don't really have photocopy machines at home, printers at home, so they would generally go to those places for those services. So if you really want to do into books, I would advise you establish something like a documentation somewhere and incorporate maybe a section for books. That is actually going to do well. Also, I would have recommended a library, but nowadays, like I said, library wouldn't as well do well because of the presence of social media. Students would rather go and listen to audiobooks or read ebooks online. And you know the download option exists that they could actually download those ebooks and even read them offline from their phones. So physical bookstore is something I wouldn't recommend. So last but not the least, go-getters, we are going to be talking about the cloth folding machine. Yes, I talked about this machine in one of my previous videos that I am going to be linking here or in the comment section that you can go watch, because I talked about the cloth folding machine alongside other amazing machines that you might be interested in that could actually bring you a lot of money in Africa. So back to the cloth folding machine. This is something that I recommended in that video, that if you are about to invest in such a machine, you should go closer to the laundry businesses, that is the dry cleaners, those who've got laundry businesses, and actually sell to them. So I was talking about those who've got the money to import those machines and sell to the dry cleaners. But I also mentioned there that if you are importing such machines, you would rather make sure you secure clients, that is a ready market, right, before doing that, because actually those who could actually buy that are very few, and those few people are actually those who own a cleaning business. Now practically that's something you wouldn't dare to actually take seriously, that is invest a lot of money to import in Africa, because you are not going to be making sales. Just like the dishwashing machine, a lot of Africans will find it useless because they can pretty much fold their dresses themselves, or they've got mates who do that for them. So this is something that you don't want to really spend your money on, or maybe import in bulk to sell in Africa. So I am going to be ending this video here. Hope you liked it, and if you would love me to do such videos, please let me know in the comment section, and I am going to be doing just that. So you could as well recommend the type of videos you would want me to make for you. We can't end this video without thanking our lovely subscribers who've been supporting the channel. We really do appreciate you, and we pray that God continue to bless you as you are blessing us. So if you're watching this video and you really find value in what we offer on the channel, I am inviting you to join our Goal-Getter community on the membership page. So the link is always found in our about page. You just go there, click the link, and just select which pack suits you. And if you are new to the channel, please do well to go to our playlist and scroll, for on there you are going to find varied videos on production machines, business ideas, guide to entrepreneurship, personal development, and all the like, and you get served. Hope you like this video, and if it resonated with you, please do well to share with your loved ones. For the more we empower Africans, the greater Africa will be. Thanks for watching this video, as I will see you on my next one.